Yes, he's not the new boy any longer. 10 months in, how's it all been going? Welcome to Crunch the Week, Marvin Rees. You sort of looked a bit hangdog there as you turned round. Is that 10 months? Is that going from being this sort of fresh idealist to the guy that actually makes the decisions and sometimes isn't all that popular?
I don't know, it might be something to do with the rock-hard seat I'm on, as you got the nice, soft, cushy one. No, as I mentioned.
That's how it works, my show.
Oh, right, okay.
How has it been going?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the job is thrilling, and George said it often. You know, I mean, it's a fantastic role to have, and I go into work every day just thankful that I have this role. It's amazing, but undoubtedly it's brought many challenges, and we've been putting those into the public domain about our finances. Everyone knows about the settlements challenge we face.
But the finances have hit hard, haven't they? I mean, drastic. I mentioned that to Asher Craig, which was on a couple of weeks ago. I didn't come into politics to make these kind of cuts, and you were sort of on a ticket of diversity and equality to hit the kind of vulnerable organisations that you said you had to do. You had no choice. It must have broken your heart, didn't it?
It's very hard. It's very hard. But yeah, I mean, like I say, we've been open about it, and what we can do is try to do things as best we can. But again, about trying to think about how we do things in a new way. So still committing, we've committed a lot of our budget to delivering on our housing commitments, because we know that some of the things we end up spending money on is because we failed in fundamental areas, like providing housing for people. But I did say, I had an interview on Sky last week, and I just gently said that when the Chancellor says, I'm making tough decisions, he's not, because he lives in a Westminster abstract. We make the tough decisions here at city government level, because we look people in the eye when we make decisions about their services.
Exactly, and he listened to the people and did a massive U-turn, didn't he, the Chancellor?
Well, he listened to his MPs, and he listened to his Prime Minister. I don't say he listened to the people.
Small
and that's not a part of it, that's about
But when you get people like on your level, you get people like Hartcliffe Community Farm, coming along, and people shouting shame in the public gallery. These are the very people that you were, I don't know, identifying with when you were standing for Mayor Marvin, and yet here they are saying, what are you doing? Why are you cutting funds from something that is so fundamental to this city?
Well, first of all, I say, in terms of identifying, I am what I am. Right, and I shared my story.
But you champion these sorts of initiatives,
because that's what I've always done.
Yeah,
Steve. From when I was a journalist at the BBC, I made a point of trying to find voices of people who were not often interviewed and were often left behind. When I worked in the voluntary sector, and when I worked in the health service on health.
But tell us about this Hartcliffe community and saying Bristol Shop Mobility, those sorts of people.
So the context is, obviously we have less money. We have a finite pot of money that we can give out to voluntary sector organisations. But it's important to say too, you can look on the negative side of things, and I absolutely understand that, because it hits hard. But at the same time, we are one of the only local authorities that have protected a pot of money for investment in our voluntary community sector. So we have done that. And at the same time as some organisations lost money, 31 new organisations have got money where previously they wouldn't have got it. So we're doing our best to invest in our voluntary sector, but it's a challenge.
And you have to save that money. We all understand that. But it's been one thing after being the arena held back, and we heard the reasons for that, but now we hear the Portishead line as well. People still look now at Bristol and say, you can't get anything done. A 10-mile track between Bristol and a commuter town like Portishead, and it trebles in price. Are we bringing people like Network Rail to account or not?
Well, this is one of the challenges that I talked with Arts Council England today. We are elected to run our city, and yet many of the decisions that impact on life and people in Bristol are for national organisations who are accountable to London. And one of the points we have to make is that if we're going to be fully accountable for our city, we need the powers to run our city.
And we can't be a soft touch.
We can't be a soft touch. So, people controlling land, Homes and Communities Agency, they've got land in the city. They're making decisions sometimes without talking to us. The Ministry of Defence have a building on Whitehall Road in Easton. It's gone straight onto the open market without talking to us, and we're going to talk to them about that, about whether we could use it for housing.
Can you make a difference, or are you then going to abdicate this to the Metro Mayor?
No, we are a city. We will work as part of the combined authority. That's what the region needs. But it's also worth saying we're still a city. We're a member of core cities, the Global Parliament of Mayors, and we operate in those networks as a city. And we protect our city.
More to come. Quick one-word answer. Colston Hall, should it change its name? In your view?
It depends on who you want to celebrate. I wouldn't celebrate. I wouldn't celebrate a slaver.
You'd like to change the name?
My ancestors are from slaves. I'm not a fan of it.
Mayor Marvin Rees is still with me. Let's talk Metro mayors for a second. Shall I explain this one, Marvin? Shall I go for this? Essentially, Bristol's got a Lord Mayor and an elected mayor, and we'll soon have a Metro Mayor, who will also be the Metro Mayor of South Gloucestershire and Bath and North East Somerset, who don't have mayors of their own, but have got leaders. North Somerset also have a leader, but won't have a Metro Mayor because they don't want one. But having said that, they'll still be involved in the West of England region, who will have a Metro Mayor, but they won't get any of the funds. I don't know why people find this confusing.
Well, the only thing is he won't be the Metro Mayor of North Somerset.
No,
so we're still in the local enterprise partnership area.
Exactly. So
another
we're still
factor,
talking.
right?
Thanks for clearing that up.
That's okay.
Is this a sensible move or not? Come on.
My view, I've been clear from the start, I think government got it wrong. They shouldn't have said, here's another political position. They should have said, we want you to display a collection of behaviours, working collaboratively across boundaries around shared priorities. Come up with the political system and the culture that serves that, and we'll negotiate with you over that. Instead of the investment opportunities that devolution offers, it became a discussion about a political position. It was back to front.
But the irony is, you guys are getting on famously now anyway, aren't you? The leaders of the four authorities. So
Tim's all right. Matt's all right. Tim Warren from Bath and Matthew Riddle from South Gloss. It's going well. And actually with Nigel as well. We meet and we're rallying around a shared set of priorities. We've got to provide a good future.
So where's North Somerset fit into this? With Weston-super-Mare and all of that? And,
well, they're not in the combined authority area.
Are you talking still?
Oh yes. I mean, we shared. Look at the Portishead line that you talked about. We have a shared interest with North Somerset in why that has come to us at 3 times the price.
So who's going to get this right? I don't mean you're going to nail your colours to a mast particularly, but let's put up the 6 who are in for this.
Well, it's okay. I'm the Labour Mayor. I've got a Labour candidate.
Oh, you're Labour Mayor now, are you? You weren't so much Labour Mayor when you got the job, Marvin.
Oh no, that's not true.
You were trying to distance yourself a bit.
No, I didn't. All I did was deliver a cross-party cabinet, as I promised. But I never distanced myself on the Labour Party.
You were a mayor for Bristol as opposed to being a Labour mayor, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm a mayor for Bristol.
That's what you said.
And people have seen that.
Anyway, but for those that are actually standing, we've got John Savage has come in. John was meant to be on this programme, I have to say, tonight, but he's been taken not terribly well. So get well soon, John. We'll get you back onto the programme at a later date. But it's a massive job, isn't it? But is it also just a figurehead, just a kind of a chairman or an umpire? Is that what that role is?
Well, it is a chair job. I mean, but also it's a very important job as well. But I've been pointing out some of the material that's come out from some of the candidates have been very unhelpful. Because whatever
what do you mean?
Well, I've seen stuff that's been ferociously party political and actually exploiting what might be seen as a rural-urban divide, right, between Bristol being the urban city and the rural surroundings. My point is, whoever wins has to sit around the table with all of us across that rural-urban divide and across party difference and work together. So you can't spend a month and a half telling everyone that everyone's rubbish, that's not like you.
And the problem is that everybody is fiercely, quite rightly, proud of their own identities, aren't they? It's not the West of England region, is it? It's 4 very separate places, with each holding their own.
I think that's somewhat true, but to be honest, I think some of that is a local authority conversation. I mean, do people really say some of the things that are on offer about what people are saying? I don't know if people live that and are invested in that every day. I mean, identity in Bristol is not just about the geographical place. We have an international population, 92 languages.
But it's a world city, isn't it? Shouldn't it be Greater Bristol? Shouldn't that whole area be Greater Bristol?
You're asking me to tread in the field of landmines here.
Absolutely. like Greater Manchester. Isn't that the only way that will really work?
I don't think that would work for Tim and Matthew.
No, but in reality for the region.
Well, I mean,
yes, it would. Yeah.
Listen, we're looking at.
We should have a Greater Bristol.
We are looking at how we brand the region, right? Yeah. So we've got the Northern Powerhouse, the Western, the Midlands Engine, and so forth. We're looking at how we communicate what we are and our identity. Yeah. There have been historical challenges talking about the West of England. People say, what is that? Where
back
is
to the old Avon, all of that stuff.
Well, we're not trying to get back to the old Avon, but that's part of the fear. But I mean, I'm not going to step on. Look, I'm going to be straight with you. I'm not going to step on that territory because how we name this area.
You may not step on it. You stepped across it. I think people can read into that.
But I hear the suggestion from you that we should be called Greater Bristol.
No, I asked the question and you said, okay, let's have a look at what people think about sort of the whole idea. We asked what the awareness was. We said what's happening on May the 4th, and this is what we came up with. This is what the people of Bristol said.
Okay.
Are you aware?
No, I have no idea, to be honest with you.
No, I'm not.
No.
we're not coming across. But
I didn't know it was May the 4th, but I was aware that there was a new mayor being elected.
No, I'm not. Guiltily so, no, I'm not aware.
And this is the problem, isn't it? You know, as we've had so many police and crime commissions, your own position, now we've got Metro, but people don't really know what it is, do they?
Yeah, and I'm not defending that. As
Yeah.
I said, it was wrong to offer a new political position
Yeah.
as a chair of the region, and it should have been about the investment journey. But can I gently challenge?
Please do.
Right, BBC put local news on every day.
Yes.
There's a 3-hour breakfast show. You know, that's talking about the events of the city. So if those broadcasts are putting on what's going on in our region, what's important, and people don't know, it's not just a question of politicians maybe not listening to the output.
Well, we are sitting doing it now.
Yeah.
We've got about a minute left. Tell me about Somalia, because that's very close to your heart, isn't it? And obviously to a lot of people in Bristol as well.
Well, it comes to the fact that many people in Bristol live international lives. We are not a city that simply exists within our geographical boundaries. We are an international city, and we know reports all this week talking about famine going actually from northeast Nigeria to right across to East Africa and into the Yemen. Probably the worst famine since the Second World War. We have people in the city who are being personally touched by that through family connections, and so we really want as a city to think about how can we can respond, working through the disasters.
In 10 seconds, what are you planning? What do you want to happen?
Well, we want to really encourage people to contribute to the DEC appeal, so we can actually reach out and support people.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for that. We've got a few sort of answers and stepping across things there. It's what you're here for.